Welcome on board, my esteemed followers, to this new series, Data Analytics and Business Intelligence. I promise you will not waste your time. Rather, you are going to have a career prospect or growth in your already existing career. So, what is data analytics? How is it different from business intelligence? So, from the screen, you can see data analytics is the process of collecting, cleaning, inspecting, transforming, and storing data in the required format. So business intelligence, on the other hand, is that process the organization takes to collect and analyze data in the hope of obtaining a competitive advantage. The primary essence of business intelligence is for decision making. Top management should be able to pull a report. For example, you have a sales, you have customers, and you want to analyze your sales. You should be able to know which customer is buying some items more than others, the location where some of your products are doing well, the season for such products. So it will help you in planning your production, your supply logistics, and all of them. So business intelligence and data analytics is what an enterprise of today cannot afford to ignore. You need data, you need analysis for you to stand well and take advantage of the sales or the market. So in summary, data analytics sort, clean, analyze data set. Then the business intelligence take advantage of that analyzed data to take decision. So we shall be using the following tools: Microsoft Visual, Microsoft Visual Studio 2019-2022, Microsoft SQL Server, SQL Integration Service, SSIS, that will help us to extract, transform, and load data from different sources. Then SQL Server services for cubes and dimension based on the expectation of the company. That depends on the reports that they'll be looking at the end of the day. Then we are going to be using Power BI for visualization, and if time permits us, we can look at the Tableau as well. So in this very topic, we shall be looking at setting up the environment for today. When you notch your IDA, do you have those tools that can enable us carry out data analytics and business intelligence from it? We are going to be finding out. We can create a sample SSIS package and then take it up from there. So let's hit the ground running by notching the Visual Studio ID and see if we have the requirements there. So this is my Visual Studio environment. I'm using 2019 because in my 2022, I think there's already SSIS tools there. So how do we know if we have the tool to carry out data analytics in our IDE? So let's search for integration service. Integration service. So as you can see on the screen, there is nothing like that. There's no integration service. If we had, you would have seen it here. So since we do not have, what do we do? How do we bring it in? We go to through the extension. So let's open without a code to open a project. So this is the environment without code. Let's go to extension. We go to manage extension. Let's go to Visual Studio Marketplace and type SSDT. We are expecting the tools. SSDT Okay, we can have SSDT life cycle extension for 2019. This will contain all the tools that were required for building a package, dimension, and a cube. So we have to download and install this. So let's wait for it to download so I can quickly install. So I've downloaded it. You can see the instruction here. Your changes will be scheduled. The modification will begin when all Microsoft Visual Studio windows are closed. So we are expected to close all of them and then try to install. So I go ahead and close. Let's see how we're going to take this up from here. So once all your open the Visual Studio are closed, you will see this, what we are seeing on the screen. So let's click on modify and see exactly what will happen. You can see it's trying to run. So there might be some errors that we can correct from the command prompt, but this is just the process that we have to pass through to have the tools in our environment. Okay, you can see what is on the screen. Your modification has been successfully applied. Please close and restart all target application instances for a change to take effect. So we shall now be opening the Visual Studios and see if there will be any error or they will be installed. So during installation, in case you come across error like this, it refuses to run. So you can see, please close the following before continuing the setup. You can see it's right now some numbers. What you need to do, just open your command prompt, type this task kill space F. This is the process ID. Run it for the two of them. And once it is done, automatically it will start running. So now I need to go over to start, but I'm going to use Visual Studio 2022 because I do not want to install this on my 2019. So, but it's the same approach. Let's move on and see how it works. So, this is my 2022 ID I just launched. So, how do we create our first SSI package? Let's go to create a new project. That takes us here. So, if you come here to put integration, you can see you have integration services for project, you have for Azure enabled, and then if you are importing from an existing. So these templates will be out for you by default. So let's click integration services project, move on. We can name it, let me say data warehouse. Data warehouse. Let's see, create the solution. Let's see how it goes. All right. So this is the solution. And where we are particularly interested in is this SSIS package. This is where we'll be defining all that we need to define that will be used for the dimension and the cube. So let's create the first one. Like I said, maybe let's just create a package for customer. Let's create a new SSS. Okay, this is the new one created. We can rename it. Let's say dim underscore customer, because we will be interested in the location of customer, the names, and the rest at the end of the day. So let's see how it goes. So from the screen, under the customer, let's quickly look at the data flow control. The data, they are all different. Okay. So when you click the data flow, you will see the canvas, the tools you are seeing are different. Under the data flow, that is where you can see the source where you want to connect from. Are you connecting from Oracle, from only DB, Microsoft, which is quicker for Microsoft? Are you connecting from Excel and the rest? And what is equally the destination that your table will be going to? So it's under this data flow. But for control flow has has power over the data flow. So we start from this data flow. Let's try to create a data flow for a task. So by default, professionally, it's good for us to label this based on the task that they are expected to perform. So I can call this a data flow task. Let me say underscore source customer. So what I'm basically saying here, this task is to pull customer data. Is to pull the customer data from the source, which of course the source could be a flat file, could be an Excel, could be an existing database. So when we moved into destination, there are some probably some feeds that might not be there. Composite feeds, we need to bring them up to exactly what is expected for us to make sense out of it. So, and all this I'm discussing has to do with the data modeling, which is going to be our next topic. We are going to use an adventure existing database from the tables and the data there. We'll be able to model, have a picture of what the end will be. So we have created the data flow. We don't have much to do here. Rather, we have to double click this. This task is to pull from source the customers. So we double click it. That takes us to the data flow where we can answer, okay, what database are we actually pulling from, which is the source. Like I briefly mentioned before, we have the source. Then we can equally talk about the connection manager, then the destination. Okay. You can see the source here. In our case, we are not dealing with flat file, Excel, Ado, and the rest. We are going to use only DB source, which okay, we pull the source to the screen, just as you can see here. Then we talk of the connection manager. Today, we will not be able to go very much because we have not downloaded the database. So, but I want us to get used to the environment. That is why I'm doing this. Next time, we're going to start from here exactly. So, under the connection manager, you can see the various types, only DB connection and the rest. If what you are looking for is not here, maybe for Oracle and the rest, you can click the new. You can see all of them here. Whatever you can see, Cache, Excel. If you want to pick from Microsoft Q, from HTTP, maybe API endpoints, all of them are here. So whatever that you pick, you'll be able to see the connection. If you pick only DB and you click add, it's going to give you an opportunity to create the connection you are looking at. So definitely, I believe some of us are used to this. When you put your server name, for instance, I have let me say dot, since a local host, I can use I can use I use window authentication. Will I be able to say, okay, these are my existing databases. So my existing databases in my environment. I could decide if I'm interested in a payroll, assuming what I'm going to deal with is payroll, I should be able to pull them from here. I will define my source, and I'll define my destination. It could be from the same table because the what we are expecting is that the end table should be in a structured way. So the source might not be the structured way, even if it's the same database. So that can be our target. So we can choose. This is how we can create connection. So by the time next time we download the database from Adventure, we attach it to our system, our existing database system, as we can now navigate through the table, create the dimension, and see how we can pull those records to from the source to the destination table that will be required. So this is how we create connection. And as you can see from here, outside the connection, you equally need the destination. Where is your destination? Where is your destination? My destination too will be only DB as well as an SQL server, Microsoft SQL server. So you can see I put this thing from under destination and I pick this from under source. They have a specific meaning. So I will now come, for instance, I want to link them together. So which means any source that I'm pulling here, I want it to come to the destination. So the source is from a table, flat file and the rest, then it will equally be hitting a table at the destination. So some transformations can happen here. If a specific feed is not available and I want to make it from the source is not available, I want it to be to exist at the destination. I can do some transformation here. I can do some mapping. At the end of the day, there are some items you can play with here so that the expected destination will be enough for us to get the insight that the Power BI will be displaying. So this is how far we can go today. Like I said, our next time we are going to look at the data modeling. And that data modeling, we will download database, we will analyze the tables and where we want to be. From that point, we can now link, we can name these tables. We'll name these tables, I shall say, this task, the data flow task you are seeing here, we will name them so that we can get the real expectation from it, from the source to the destination. So we could probably say now this one is, we can rename it to say, okay, let's call this one, let's have only DB here, only DB. I could have underscore source, load, load, load source customer, load source customer. So that is the task that this one will actually be doing. Then I can say, okay, this is the destination. I want only, if it's Oracle, you put Oracle there. Only DB. This should be destination, dim underscore customer. So when anybody takes your solution, they should know exactly the task that is performing. Without being told, this one is loading, is pulling customer from source and sending to this destination. So probably when we associate this to a table, we will equally see the relationship. Like I said, in between, we can carry out some transformations here. So this is where we'll be ending today's session, and I hope to see you next time. So as a way of encouraging me, I will appreciate you subscribing to my channel, hitting the like buttons, and making a positive comment. So we'll see you next time. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate.